welcome back to the channel. I am Jay the Reader, and today I have a review for you of a book that I just really loved, and I had to hop on here and just review it right this second. That book is Clown in a Cornfield by Adam Cesare. This video is spoiler free. There's no spoilers in this review. I'm not going to give away any big plot points, any big twists or anything like that. I'm just going to tell you what I liked about the book, what some things I may not have liked so much about the book, and all that good stuff, but let's get into it. Real quick, just in case you don't know what Clown in the Cornfield is about, let me give you a quick rundown. It is about a teenager named Quinn Maybrook and her father that moved from Philadelphia to Missouri to a town called Kettle Springs. Kettle Springs is known for their corn syrup. They have a big production, or they did have a production, it's since shut down, in Kettle Springs of corn syrup, and the corn syrup company's mascot is Friendo the Clown. Friendo is kind of like the heartbeat of the town. People love him. He's just kind of the face of the town, but as soon as Quinn gets there, she starts to notice that the teenagers and the adults in this town hate each other. The two generations do not mix. They are always blaming each other for everything. They have a feud almost. And one night at a party that Quinn is invited to, a guy dressed up like Friendo is there, and he pretty much just starts off in them. Let's get into what I liked about this book. I liked a lot about this book. This book is fast-paced, kind of. We'll get into, it's fast-paced for the most part. It keeps your attention for the most part, and once it really starts getting going, it's really, really good. It's almost like watching a movie, and like all books are kind of like watching a movie in your head, but this book really feels like a movie, like a really good slasher movie. It's awesome. Another thing I really liked about this book was Quinn herself. Quinn is an awesome character. You feel for her. She feels like a real human being, not just like a fake throwaway character. She's very fleshed out. Some of the stuff that she's going through in her life and the stuff that she's thinking about in her head just kind of really makes you feel for her. It almost makes you kind of wish like you could be her friend and be there for her. She's not stupid. She's smart. She makes smart decisions the whole way through this book. I can't think of one thing she does that is stupid in this book. She is smart. She is a smart main character in a horror story, and that is rare. Another huge positive about this book is Quinn's friend group. She has a friend named Janet, Ronnie, Matt, Cole. You'll meet them all throughout the book if you decide to read it, and her friend group is really fleshed out too. Janet, some of the inner dialogue of Janet that she has and her backstories kind of makes you really feel for her and feel connected. Cole's backstory makes you feel for him and makes you feel really connected to him. Most of the characters in this book are really, really, really smart. There's some stupid characters, but they're kind of needed, and it doesn't really kind of drag the story down. But a lot of the main people that you're going to be seeing in these different scenes in this book are smart, really sharp as a tack, and it really makes this feel like a step up from some horror stories. It's amazing. I really like the setting and the atmosphere that this book has. I mean, if you look at the cover, it just kind of sets the tone. The cornfield's in the shape of a clown. You see like the barn in the background and the farmhouse and the silo. And you can see it in your head when you're reading it. The way Adam Cesare describes it, it just feels like you're there and you are so engulfed in this universe, in this world, and it really just feels like a Midwestern town. And that has a lot of pride in their good old mascot Friendo, and it really, really works, and I loved every bit of the atmosphere of this book. It was perfect. I also really liked Quinn's father. Quinn's father had this really cool dynamic of, I don't want to be too overbearing to my teenage daughter and embarrass her in front of her new friend group and try to control her, but also he also tried to be a protective father. And it really showed kind of like a real life dynamic probably a lot of parents deal with, and it worked perfectly. And in the end, it was really fleshed out, and I loved Quinn's father. He wasn't in the book a huge amount, but when he was in the book, it was perfect. I loved every bit of his presence when he was in the text. Loved it. Last but not least, on the positives, I cannot talk about the positives and not talk about the action, kills, and all the cool stuff that's in this horror-wise. It's awesome. It's not overdone. It's not too much gore. It's just the perfect amount. I will say it's definitely gory. So Some people are gonna probably be a little squeamish. I didn't find it to be too much. There was genuinely some creepy scenes in here that kind of like, and I usually don't get creeped out, but it kind of creeped me out a bit. Not too much. I don't really get creeped out too much by horror, but there was some stuff, the mannerisms of the guy that's dressed up like Friendo. His mannerisms are kind of creepy in some scenes, and it works perfectly. So yeah, the horror aspects of this book is awesome. Perfect, done. It couldn't be done any better. Now let's get to some things that I would critique, or some negatives I would say about this book, and there's not a lot. This is a great book, but there are some things that I think could have been done differently, and we're gonna get into that right now. I know I said that this book is fast-paced and it feels like you're watching a movie and all that cool stuff. It is once it gets to the fast-paced part. There is a prologue in this book that kind of is fast-paced and keeps your attention, but then the first few chapters I was kind of like, what's going on here? There's not much horror going on. It's kind of just her meandering around the town and realizing that all the teenagers and hate the adults and the adults hate the teenagers. But once it gets to about 100 and something pages in, it picks up. I think it could have been a little sooner, but once it does pick up, it's good. But that's only the negative I'd say about the pacing, is that it takes a little bit to get to anything kind of horror related. Another negative, or is it really a negative? Some people are gonna see it as a negative. There is some political aspects to this book weaving in. It's not super in your face. It's not, I don't think it takes away from the story as a whole, but they're in there, and I'm not gonna get into politics on this channel, but if you don't agree with the political views that he is kind of intertwining a little bit here and there, it could be seen as a negative. I could see some people saying, I'm not reading this. Has politics in it. This is not, why is there politics in horror? And I can see that point of view. I think the politics could drive some people away once they see it within here. And I think that could be a negative, but I think it could have done without the political edge. That's all I'm saying. I don't think it was too much. I think it's still an amazing book, but I think it would have been just as an amazing book without the politics that were added. Now, this isn't really a negative, but this is published by Harper Teen, which usually publishes young adult books. Young adult is kind of like, in my opinion, the age is from like 14 to 18. And I've never read a book that's kind of geared towards that age demographic that has as much profanity that this book does have in it. I can see a lot of parents saying there is no way you're reading this book. This book drops drops F-bombs constantly, and I don't have a problem with that. I don't cuss on this channel really, because I'm just trying to keep it family friendly, but in my daily life, I do have kind of a sailor's mouth. But yeah, there's a lot of profanity in this, and I was kind of surprised by it. Again, I don't think it added anything to the story. I think that it could have been toned down maybe a little bit so a younger audience could enjoy it, but it is what it is. I just want to throw it out there so you guys are informed. There is quite a bit of cussing in this book. But overall, I love this story. I love these characters. I love this book. I love how it was written. I love so much about this. It's almost perfect. And I would recommend it to anybody who likes horror, likes fiction books, just likes reading in general. Check this book out. I would be surprised if you didn't get hooked on it. I really don't have much else negative to say about it. This book is amazing. I kind of want to start doing like rating scales on this channel, so let's do a fun rating. This book, I guess, a 5 out of 5 for me on the fun scale. It is just so fun to read. Like I said, it has comedy in there. Well, I don't know if I said that, but it does have some comedy in there that makes some scenes and some dialogue that makes you chuckle, and it's just so much fun. Everything about it. The kills are fun. The characters are fun. The atmosphere is fun. It's just super fun. 5 out of 5 on the fun scale. Let's talk about the scary scale. I would give it a 4 out of 5 on the scary scale. There was definitely some scenes in here that kind of made my skin crawl a little bit. Nothing too crazy, but I could definitely see where some people this book would scare the pants off of them. It for some people would be pretty scary, and I could definitely see the younger end of that young adults category being really scared. So yeah, there's definitely some scary stuff. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. Now let's do the overall rating of Clown in a Cornfield out of 5. I'm giving it a 4.5 out of 5. It's dang near perfect. I don't want to give it a 5 because I'm sure there's something out there that I would like maybe a tad better, but it really borders the line of 4.5 for me and 5. But I'm gonna give it a 4.5. 4.5 out of 5. Amazing book. Check it out. Highly recommend it. You won't regret it if you check this book out. Real quick, guys, I know I said in my last video that my next video was going to be on the dollar store Goosebumps called Creepers. I'm going to do a video on this, and this is probably going to be the next video I post. I want to read one of them, compare it to Goosebumps, see what it's like, and talk about it. I'm probably actually going to read this one right here called The Scarecrow, because it actually has some scary pictures on the inside, and it kind of reminds me of The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight, an R.L. Stine Goosebumps book, and I want to see if it can go toe-to-toe with that. I don't think it probably can, but you never know. So we're going to talk about that next time. As always, guys, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed what you saw in today's video, if you could give this video a like and subscribe, it helps me out and it costs you nothing. I'd really appreciate it. I will catch you all in the next one. God bless you all.